Hello students, today we will read third poem of the book First Flight, A Tiger in the Zoo, that is written by Leslie Norris. Let's talk about this poet first. George Leslie Norris was a prize-winning Welsh poet and short story writer. He is considered as most important Welsh writers of the post-war period, and his literary works have won many prizes. His famous works are Finding Gold, The Loud Winder, Phoenix, Living Poet series, Ransoms, etc. Now, this poem, A Tiger in the Zoo, explains the agony and helplessness of a caged tiger that lives in a zoo. The poet explains what his life could be if he had been a free animal. The poet has tried to explain about the condition of animals that are caged by human beings for their own fun. Actually, the theme of the second lesson, Nelson Mandela, A Long Walk to Freedom, and of this poem, they are the same. They both are talking about the freedom of human beings or the freedom of animals. Everybody in this world wants freedom. Nobody wants to be caged. And this theme is beautifully explained in this poem, A Tiger in the Zoo. So now let's read the poem. He stalks in his vivid stripes the few steps of his gaze on pads of velvet quiet in his quiet race. Now in this poem, Stalk's word is walks very slowly in his vivid stripe. Vivid is very clear and stripes are lines. The few steps of his gaze. Actually, the tiger is caged. He is put in a case and he can just walk very slowly only inside the case, and he walks a few steps only on pads of velvet quiet, and his feet are very soft, they are velvet, they are just like velvet, and he moves very quietly in his quiet race, and he is very quiet also. He doesn't make any noise, but he is very angry. He is very disturbed because he is caged. He wants freedom. He wants to enjoy freedom in his natural habitat, but he is caged. Now, explanation is also given. The tiger moves up and down of his cage. The stripes on his body are of strong, bright color. The tiger moves quietly on his velvety pads. He is full of race, but he is quiet. He is quiet because he knows that he is helpless. He cannot do anything. Next one it is given. Now here the poet makes a comparison. If he had been in forest, how he would have been behaving, what he would have been doing. Now what is given in this stanza? He should be lurking in shadow. If he had been in the forest, he would have been lurking means hiding himself in shadow, sliding through long grass. He would have been moving slowly, quietly through the long grass and hiding himself, waiting for his prey near the water hole where plump deer pass, where some plump, healthy young deer pass. He would have been waiting for the deer, he would have been waiting for its prey, and he would have attacked it. He would have hunted it. So, this is what he would have been doing in the forest. But now, as he is caged, he can just walk a few steps. He is very angry, but he can't do anything. Looking at the imprisoned tiger, the poet is filled with pity. He says that the poor tiger should have been in his natural habitat. Then, at this point of the night, he would have been lying in the shadow of the trees and sliding quietly through the long grass. There, near the water hole, he would be waiting for some fat deer to pass that way. Thus, he would be lying there in expectation of a heavy feast, what he have been doing in the forest. Next, it is given again what he would have been doing in the forest nearby area. He should be snarling around houses at the jungle edge. Now, here again the poet questions about its natural habitat. they are disappearing very fast. And now they have no place, they are homeless, they are just wandered, they are wandering on the roads now. But he says that if his natural habitat is destroyed, he should be snarling around houses. Sometime he might, if he would not have been looking at his prey, he would not have been finding his prey, he would have been snarling around. Snarling means that he would be have been showing his teeth and just growling at the human beings near at the houses, nearby houses near the jungle. Bearing his white fangs, he would have been showing his two long white teeth and his claws and his nails, terrorizing the villagers, and he would have been frightening the villagers at that time. Now, it is given here the poet imagines what the tiger would be doing in case he failed to find any prey in his natural habitat. He says that the tiger would be growling at the edge of jungle near small village. He would be showing his white fangs and claws while moving here and there. He would thus become a cause of terror for the villagers. He would have been frightening the villagers. The poet here gives a hint that if we destroy the natural habitat of tigers, they will be forced to turn to our towns and villages to find their food. And now that it is given, but he is locked in a concrete cell, his strength behind bars, but he is not a free animal. He is locked behind the concrete cell, concrete which is made of concrete. Cell is prison. His strength behind bar, he is put behind bars. Okay, and he is caged. Stalking the length of his cage. Stalking means just walking very slowly, just passing through the length of the cage, ignoring visitor, and he just ignores the visitors who just have come to have a look at the tiger. He just ignores them and he just keep on walking in the cage. The poet sees the tiger locked in a concrete cell in the zoo. In spite of all his strength, he now lies imprisoned behind the bars. Very slowly and silently, he moves up and down along the length of the cage. He takes no note of the visitors who come to the zoo to have a look at him. He just ignores them and he is imprisoned. He walks very slowly, very silently, just along the length of the cage. The last stanza is he hears the last voice at night, the patrolling cars. During the day, visitors are there and he feels disturbed. But at night, he hears the last voice at night, the patrolling cars. Some cars are there who are security, who are on security, just keep a check on the animals or the others. The patrolling cars. He listens to the voice of the patrolling cars and stares with his brilliant eyes at the brilliant stars. And stares means just looks constantly with his brilliant eyes at the brilliant stars, and he looks at the stars. So brilliant eyes, brilliant stars, brilliant word is repeated. So this is repetition, and we are also given some examples of alliteration, like in the first stanza, first line, he stalks in his vivid stripes. He and his, it is repeating. And where plump deer pass, so you can see in the second one it is plump pass, it is also alliteration. And his strength behind bars, so it is also alliteration. Repetition, I have already told you in the last stanza, repetition is used. Brilliant stars, brilliant eyes, brilliant stars. And same way, one more stanza it is given, quite, velvet, quite rays. So these are also repeating, so it is repetition. So now it's the central idea of the poem that we can see. The poem A Tiger in the Zoo by Leslie Norris tries to depict the mental condition of a caged tiger. He compares the life of a tiger in the zoo with its life in its natural habitat. So it is a comparison is given that how you would have been behaving in the natural habitat in place of a cage. The poet conveys an important message that the wild animals should be in their natural habitat. they should be placed in natural habitat, they should not be caged, they should not be put in zoos. In the poem, he heightens the contrast between freedom and captivity. And he says everybody wants freedom, everybody wants to enjoy his life, and nobody wants to be captive. So he gives a comparison of the two. And he very impressively shows us how love for freedom is the natural instinct of every living being. Whether human beings or animals, all want freedom. Nelson Mandela, he fought for the freedom for his countrymen. Same way in India, Mahatma Gandhi ji fought for the freedom of his own countrymen. So this is all what these we all want freedom. We want no bondage. So this is what the central idea of the poem. So these themes are the same for the poem and the chapter. So this is all about this poem. Thank you.